In the automotive world that's becoming more and more high-tech, Chevy's pickup manages to balance between a classic truck design approach and modern features in such a nice fashion. Despite the modern features, it doesn't lose any of its classic pickup truck strengths, and that's why we think it's easily one of the top choices in the segment. Stay with us and check 8 huge reasons why the 2024 Chevy Silverado jumps ahead of the competition. Number 8. New set of updates. Chevy continues to improve its pickup on a yearly basis. After the 2022 mid-cycle refresh and the 2023 update that has brought a massive power and torque increase in the diesel engine, the 2024 Chevy Silverado brings a set of updates once again. This time they're rather subtle, but still quite effective. The first thing worth mentioning is the addition of 2 new paint options, Lakeshore Blue and Slate Gray. Furthermore, it's worth mentioning that models with a range-topping 6.2-liter V8 engine get an active exhaust system, so you can enjoy even better engine notes of the well-known and proven V8. The Blackout package is now available across the range, and now almost every Silverado can get this unique visual treatment. Speaking of upgrades across the range, we come to one of the most important upgrades for this model year, and that's the wireless Apple CarPlay and Android smartphone integration, which is now standard in all models, including the base work truck. Number 7. Capable and efficient diesel engine. The Silverado is available with several very capable powertrain options, but we think that the biggest advantage over the competition is when it comes to diesel power. Namely, the F-150 doesn't have such a version on offer anymore, while Ram's 3-liter V6 feels inferior compared to Chevy's 3-liter inline-6 after last year's upgrade. That upgrade brought notable power and torque increase, so Chevy's engine is now rated at 305 horsepower and 495 pound-feet of torque, which is a nice advantage over Ram's 260 horsepower engine that puts out 480 pound-feet of torque. Not only that Chevy's diesel engine is capable, but it's efficient too. You may count on about 24 mpg in the city and 29 mpg on the highway. Toyota and Ford's hybrid powertrain don't come even close, so the only rival in this aspect is the aforementioned 3.0-liter turbo diesel from the Ram 1500. It adds 2 mpg on the highway, but is also notably thirstier on the city ride, so the combined fuel economy is about the same. Also, it's worth mentioning that a diesel-powered Silverado can tow up to 13,300 pounds compared to Ram's EcoDiesel's 12,750 pounds. That's a decent advantage. Number 6. Reasonably priced off-road version. Just like the competition, Chevy also offers a super capable off-road version of its pickup, but it plays on a slightly different card. It doesn't play the same game of high output numbers as Ram and Ford do, with their TRX and Raptor models. Instead, it equips its off-road version with the same engines as standard models, which has a high impact on the price. The Silverado ZR2 is $10,000 to $15,000 cheaper than the aforementioned rivals, even though it features pretty much the same off-road features. That's a great benefit because let's be honest, most of us don't need a 700 horsepower off-roader. On the other hand, the ZR2 has everything you need for rock crawling, desert runs, or any other adventure. It comes standard with 33-inch off-road tires, a massive suspension upgrade with spool valve dampers, locking front and rear differentials, a 2-speed transfer case, and many more. Of course, there is a massive underbody protection, as well as a specially designed steel bumper that increases the approach angle to 32 degrees. Last but not least, the Silverado ZR2 is, besides the 6.2-liter V8, also available in a diesel variant with the same 3.0-liter inline-6 turbo diesel. With 495 pound-feet of torque, it's more than capable of any kind of off-roading, and it also rewards you with excellent fuel economy. Number 5. Capable base powertrain. If you look at the competition, most basic versions come with not particularly impressive naturally aspirated V6 engines. The base Ram 1500 comes with a good old 3.6-liter V6 with a max output of 305 horsepower and 269 pound-feet of torque. The F-150 is even more modest at its base version with the old 3.3-liter V6 that puts out around 290 horsepower and 265 pound-feet of torque. Don't get us wrong, both of these engines are good, but Chevy brings something way more superior to the table when it comes to entry-level models. If you buy a base Silverado, you'll get a more modern, more efficient, and more importantly, way more capable Turbo 4 engine. We're talking about a 2.7-liter unit that puts out 310 horsepower, which isn't a big difference at all. But once you check the torque figures, things become crystal clear. This engine features 430 pound-feet of max torque, 160 or more compared to naturally aspirated V6 counterparts. Not to mention that the max power and torque come at much lower RPMs. Simply put, Chevy's base engine is a league above, comparable with mid-range powertrain options that rivals offer. Number 4. Intuitive infotainment system. Chevy has always been known for making intuitive and easy-to-use infotainment systems, and the Silverado is no exception. Whether you pick the base model with a smaller unit or go for the latest 13.4-inch screen, you may count on smooth operation and pretty simple navigation. And now when wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard across the range, things become even better. Of course, the star of the show is the bigger 13.4-inch unit, which offers crisp graphics, lots of customization options, and super fast response. It's pretty much anything you would expect from a modern infotainment system, and things look even more impressive in combination with the available 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster. Among available tech goodies, you could also get things like wireless device charging, a Wi-Fi hotspot, 4 additional USB ports, satellite radio, and many more. Number 3. Maneuverability. On paper, the Silverado looks like a typical pickup. It features a classic body-on-frame design with quite a typical suspension setup that includes solid axle and leaf springs on the rear end, while the steering is based on an electric rack and pinion. And indeed, the ride quality is typical for a pickup truck. The ride is firm and can sometimes be quite bouncy on bumpy roads, and that's where the Silverado actually lags behind the competition, especially the Ram 1500 with its multi-link independent rear suspension. But where rivals like the Ram 1500 and Ford F-150 don't come even close is maneuverability. For some reason, the Silverado feels way better in this aspect. It feels like a much smaller vehicle with great outward visibility, easy to maneuver in tight spaces, and that's also complemented by surprisingly engaging handling as the truck leans minimally in corners. The steering is light, though it would use a little bit more precision at higher speeds. Number 2. Multi-flex tailgate. Pickups are designed to get the job done, but with smart technical solutions like the multi-flex tailgate, they can get the job done more conveniently. As the name suggests, this isn't a classic tailgate, but rather one that can operate in different modes. Besides the standard tailgate operation, it can operate in several more ways. One of them is called the gate-mounted load stop, a perfect solution for longer objects as the inner top of the tailgate creates a vertical wall that keeps long objects from shifting out of the bed. The secondary gate can also drop down and allow much easier access to the cargo box, making loading and unloading way easier. Another super useful function of this tailgate is a so-called full-width box step, which allows you to climb into the truck bed easily. And despite all these multifunctional abilities, the second part of the tailgate is also pretty rugged and can stand more than 300 pounds. There's also the secondary gate load stop. While that half of the tailgate could also fold down from the rest of the tailgate and create an area that can serve as a work surface where you can place your laptop, documents, or something of the like. Number 1. Configurability. Finally, one of the main reasons why the 2024 Chevy Silverado jumps ahead of most competitors is the number of configuration options buyers have. First of all, there are 3 cab styles: regular cab, double cab, and crew cab, offering capacity for 3 to 6 passengers. Along with different cab styles, there are also 3 bed lengths on offer, starting from the short 5-foot 8-inch bed, the standard 6.5-foot bed, and a long 8-foot long bed. Then there are powertrain options. We've already mentioned the base Turbo 4, as well as the Turbo Diesel, but the Silverado also comes with a couple of V8 units, starting from the smaller 5.3-liter engine that puts out around 355 horsepower and 383 pound-feet of torque. There's also the well-known 6.2-liter V8 with a max output of 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. Finally, there are 9 trim levels in total. The offer starts with work truck and custom models, which are simple and straightforward utility-focused variants of the truck. Then there are trim levels like LT and RST, which offer a great balance between price and amount of equipment, and also custom and LT trims can be configured in a Trail Boss variant with a nice portion of off-road upgrades. Speaking of off-road upgrades, there's the aforementioned ZR2, while the Silverado is also available in a couple of pretty luxurious variants called LTZ and High Country. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.